All right, I'm going to hit go live then here. All right, guys, we are live. Of course, I just did the wrong thing.
What the FiGPiN you doing?
I don't even know what happened here. Why did my light go? There we go. All right, guys, welcome back to another amazing Tuesday evening. We have a great show ready for you. I don't know what happened here. Why did my light go? There we go. All right, guys.
Someone's watching it live.
Yep, someone's watching it live. We can hear the feedback, Dan.
Hit that mute audio.
Great show ready.
There we go.
There we go. Perfect.
Awesome. All right, guys, welcome back to Tuesday night. It is your man John G with What the FiGPiN.
What the FiGPiN?
Epic show tonight.
Alex, how are you this evening?
I'm doing swell, John. How are you?
Very, very well. Battle, what about yourself? How's Mexico this week?
Doing great. Weather's awesome. Heat of the day, I think, was 95, so the hottest part of the year, but gorgeous.
Awesome. And it is a pleasure and honor to go ahead and welcome back Dan, one of the founders of FiGPiN. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great, man. It's fun to be here.
Awesome.
I was telling John earlier, man, I spent much of the weekend kind of catching up all these episodes. So it was fun to watch, fun to see people I hadn't met. So
that's awesome. I saw when you had posted that and it was your little screenshot you watched it. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. And we did post that there was a special guest, and Travis, I'm not sure if you've actually been introduced to the public. So I'll go ahead and let you do your own introduction, but it's a pleasure to have you.
This is like the Wizard of Oz guy, man. He's that guy behind the curtain, you know?
Yeah. He's the Yoda, apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
That is such a cool thing behind you. What is that?
I made, back in 1998, I worked for an agency. We made 3,000 of 4 Phantom Menace characters. And they'd never been done before. They're all life-size. And so I have Yoda, Jar Jar, Watto, and Darth Maul. And they're 22 years old. And I guess it's one of the testaments to the quality of a FiGPiN and our team and everybody. They last, each hair in his head is rooted through one at a time.
Wow. That is so cool.
We flew the seamstresses from Hong Kong to Lucas's ranch in Northern California, and we measured the actual costumes. And so you have everything. You have slush molded, rotocast, all kinds of processes in all 4 of the characters. So they're very cool. Come down to Irvine, see them.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So before we go ahead and I lend it to Alex and Battle, we did want to go to the chat and just welcome some people. Van Harris, Brandon River, SP Dragon Ball, Galaxy Gaming. You're actually new to the chat, so welcome. We haven't seen you before. Brad Gallagher, Animus, SP Dragon Ball. Thankfully, I got it right this time. Jib Steezy, Soundwarp, Steven, Chris, Viegas, so many people. Frostzilla, Soundwarp, Breckenridge. It's always good to have you. Yeah, I mean, so many people, guys. So thank you so much. Tufu's here, Professor FiGPiN, Jose Escobar, Legacy Fox, Dr. Graybush. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you're hitting the like button. If this is your first time on the show, if you wouldn't mind going ahead and subscribing as well, we would appreciate your support as well. So we'll jump right into it because we definitely have a fun-filled and action-packed episode here. Alex and Battle, you guys can take it away.
Well, first off, I just need to take this drink. I got this cool new cozy from Pins on Fire.
They sent you my swag again?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
They keep messing up our addresses with the swag.
They can't make up their mind. All right. So before we get started, actually, Travis, can you tell us a little about yourself and your role within FiGPiN?
Sure. Well, at FiGPiN, I work as the CEO of the company in the financial area. So I handle all the day-to-day financials, everything from working with all of our factories, making sure they're all paid, managing our Hong Kong office, the staff in the Hong Kong office have been with me for about 25 years. So they started when I've been making toys for about 30 years. And when I started, I worked for an agency called Alcone Marketing Group, and my division made 1 billion toys for Burger King in the 90s. So all those little toys that before we had video games and things like that, kids would sit in the back of their cars and then they would play with toys.
Heck yeah.
So I've made 125 trips in my life to China. Been exposed to every kind of manufacturing process there is. So it was a great learning experience. And along the way, we were asked to make, the Star Wars characters. No one had ever done it before. We worked with Gentle Giant, which is a big sculpting house here in Southern California. They made the sculpts for us. And the guys at the factories that were making little tiny characters, I asked them to make 6 foot and 7 foot tall characters.
Holy smokes.
And
wow.
So you can imagine in a warehouse, 3,000 Darth Mauls lined up. They looked like terracotta soldiers. And I remember one of the lady workers, because they lived there, walked out and she forgot and saw them and got really scared. There they were, all these Darth Mauls. And we shipped them to 55 countries around the world, which was not an easy task because countries like Quito, Ecuador wouldn't let Darth Maul come in because he looked like a satanic god. And so they said, we won't let this come into the country. So we had some returns. But
that's crazy.
Wow.
It was a big program.
That is wild. With all your travels to other countries, do you speak Mandarin or multiple languages?
When I first started going over, the Cantonese was the official language, and it was when Britain was still in control of Hong Kong before the handover. And the guy who runs part of our Hong Kong office, his name's Jamie. Jamie was born in Twin Falls, Idaho, and he's a Chinese American. And Jamie went over there about now, I would say, 30 years ago. He's married, has a beautiful daughter, and he spoke Mandarin, Cantonese, and Japanese, and good English at the time. Now his English is horrible, but he speaks Mandarin, Cantonese, and Japanese. And so I never picked it up because by the time I started going over, I was older, and it's just tough to learn the language. But but Jamie and we have another really integral part of our company as it relates to the quality. Her name is Mei Lung. Mei ran my Burger King office there. She ran 35 people and made the 1 billion toys. So Jamie and Mei have a really extensive background in quality. And I think quality really comes through as one of the things when Dan and I and Amato and Eric first got together. We wanted product that was really, really high quality, no matter if it was the actual pin or the packaging or how it's put into a box. If you come to our warehouse, we spend way more than we should on the boxes that we ship these out in, but we want really strong cardboard, so they don't get crushed. So it's kind of how we've built the thinking from the beginning.
Wild. Well, we can contest to that watching those box sets come in and those perfectly made box protectors for them. I mean, they're well put together.
Yeah.
So Travis, if I can jump in here, what was your favorite BK gold Pokemon card that you had there? You made?
Probably Pikachu.
Okay, so I know that. Go ahead, sorry. I know that you haven't watched the show, or you possibly haven't watched the show before, but we have done this in the past where we've asked things like this, and then things disappear on eBay and Mercari because we bring it up here. So guys, I am looking on eBay right now. There are several Burger King Pokemon Pikachu cards. You know that it's a favorite of someone on the show right now. So it'd be cool to go ahead and see some sales tonight for those cards.
if that's a thing, I don't know why this brought me to it, but my favorite thing I ever remembered picking up from Burger King was when Jurassic Park came out, and it was that raptor eye
watch.
Yeah, did you make that?
Yeah, we made all the watches. Yeah,
that is the coolest thing. It's like a dream come true right now. That's wild. Who'd ever thunk it?
Yeah, I think I still have some of those watches somewhere. I didn't keep.
I wish.
I never kept everything because it was just we had such a tight, compressed time frame, and we were making like 30 million pieces at a time, and it was insane.
That's so cool.
We had like 6 months, and the average toy at that time had to be made, delivered, profit, and everything for 50 cents.
Wow.
It's a pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But you made
thank you for making some awesome toys, because I still wish I had that watch. I'd be wearing it right now. That's the coolest thing.
So Dan, how did you and Travis meet, and how did the four of you, create FiGPiN?
Okay. Well, that's so my career kind of started out of college, and I was in the promotional products business. And at that time, I was selling to accounts like Starbucks and Microsoft and Nintendo, those kinds of accounts. And I did that for about 7 years. And then I got recruited away to a trading company. So a trading company is like a Chinese-owned company that will help people manufacture and import goods from China. This trading company happened to be in Bellevue, Washington. And I worked there for a couple of years selling to people like Travis and those kinds of accounts that were kind of like, importing, big programs on behalf of brands. I almost went to work for Travis, but I didn't. I stayed at where I was, but then Travis became a client of mine. And so this was about 2003. And I think the first project we worked on were barbecue toolkits. When you came and test drove a Jeep, you got this 18-piece barbecue toolkit, like 150,000 sets. It was a huge order. And I went over to China with Travis, and Jamie came along to kind of inspect our factories. And thank God Travis is still working with me. A few of those factories weren't that great. And I think that's part of like this whole journey, right? We went on to do a couple other big projects together. Then Travis left Alcon in about 2006. And I left where I was in about 2010. At that time I met Amato, and I worked with Amato. He was a company called S2H. Him and a partner created this kind of fitness band where you kind of get out and run and generate reward codes, and you enter it into a website, and you could win like Apple, like iPhone cards or Xbox gift cards, that kind of a thing. And I thought it was pretty intriguing what he was doing. So I basically just called him up and flew out there and met him. And we brought his kind of technology to Starbucks for their employees and created a pedometer that when you walk 10,000 steps, it would generate reward codes, enter it into a Starbucks site, and you would get like, your ability to kind of choose from like gifts, kind of rewarding you for walking, kind of a health idea. And the idea was to kind of scale that. But, things, don't happen that quick. I never really got out of corporate headquarters. And so I went back to work on the agency side of the business, kind of rebuilding a book of business, selling promotional products. And it kind of morphed into collector editions, and it morphed into creating consumer products. At that time, I was selling to people like Ubisoft, I was selling to PlayStation, EA, and then I was doing a lot of Minecraft custom product for Jinx and ThinkGeek. And it was everything from plush toys to kind of like fat head wall posters to square coffee mugs to jewelry, vinyl toys. I mean, a lot of products. And I wasn't really happy with the supply chain I had to source and manufacture that kind of product. So in my career, I'd probably made over 2,000 different kinds of products working directly with China. So I knew what I wanted, and what I wanted, I didn't really have. So I called Travis and I said, Trav, I go, do you still have your Hong Kong office? At the time, he'd moved on to cables importing, and he said he did. And I said, can I hire somebody to put in your office to help source for me? And he's like, well, why don't you and I get together and start a company? And so I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I flew down to Irvine. We had lunch, and we decided to go into business together. And that was December of 2014. And so at that time, I had made an arrangement with the place I was at to take 2 clients with me and kind of leave all my other clients back to them. And so ThinkGeek was basically our first client that we started working on projects with. And so our first product, actually, I brought with me. We made these Captain America hard side backpacks. So everything from the design, the tech packing, the sourcing of components, the manufacturing, the importing, and that kind of went on to be a hit. And we developed, line of shield backpacks, and we had several kind of creative projects where ThinkGeek had a roster of licenses. They needed help coming up with ideas, developing products, and making things. So it was like a lot of different plush toys. It was baseball hats. It was kind of like their own version of Loot Crates. We also worked with Loot Crate. Matter of fact, ThinkGeek's Denver office did the first 2 themed Loot Crates at that time. One was for Fallout, one was for Mass Effect. We built all those products, did all the kitting, the whole 9 yards to kind of put those out in the world. Part of those were pin sets. So as we started to go from 2014, 2015, a motto, I was freelancing as a creative person and tinkering on things. FiGPiN was an idea that was in my head in 2013, at least the pin as a character standing is kind of like a standing kind of character you could wear and whatnot. I was at a factory in 2015. I saw a ball marker that hinged up a little character. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. That kind of like ties back to the kind of the idea I had. And I got the idea at Disney. I was at the Vinylmation store. They had little blind bags with the little kind of Vinylmation characters, and I got them back, and I didn't know what to do with them, and I wasn't going to wear them. And I was like, okay, well, it'd be cool if I could see them on my desk because I really like the weight and kind of like the color of them and stuff. So the idea stuck with me, and then I started tinkering on this idea of kind of creating little characters out of these enamel pins. And so fast forward, Eric Haldy joins me in 2016 here in the office in Mill Creek. We're working on some lapel pin projects. One of them happens to be a Street Fighter set. I think we covered that or maybe Eric covered that in the last show. Yep. And Eric really fell in love with the line work aspect of pins. And so, with his enthusiasm, I was like, really ready to kind of resurrect the whole idea of, the kind of standing element of these figural pins. And so it was a matter of fact, they kind of came to me on the last time I was on your show, John, that we took the Ryu figure and made him kind of 3-inch to kind of see how that looked. We kind of figured out a way to kind of unlock the idea of kind of how to like stand it. I had a motto, basically kind of bring that from a product design standpoint, so have the little kickstand back. Then came up with a packaging that ended up, started to kind of be like more of a soft case, but then it came to the hard case, kind of like, portraying character in his own world. And we were using Altair from Assassin's Creed at that time. And I'll never forget the first time we got the samples in, Eric had kind of put his secret sauce on the design. We made them in 3 different kinds of materials. One was a bronze material. The actual like material, it's like a brass kind of like alloy they call it bronze. And then we had the zinc alloy, and then, and we got them in, they were just beautiful. And I was like, man, we really have something here. So we got excited about that, but that didn't pay bills. That was like money kind of going out the door, right? Because project work really kind of paid the bills for the company. And so we started to, so I think it was at that time that I showed Travis. I don't even know if he knew we were working on that, quite honestly. We were kind of chefing this up, right? Kind of our own creation up here in the office. And then I remember showing it to Travis, being really excited, and talking about, we need to spend some money and kind of prototype this thing out. And,
find some money. Yeah.
Find some money, so it was kind of like, really kind of like taking the profits from the CMD business at the time and investing it in. And, we were just kind of like a brand new startup doing the project work. So I remember Eric saying at the time, like, this is all I want to do. And I was kind of like, well, that's kind of really all I want you to do too, because I'm in love with this idea. And so we kind of made some sacrifices, right? So Eric kind of turned into full-time designing FiGPiNs. Amato, worked on the packaging kind of components of it. He had the brilliant idea of putting serial numbers on these. And, right. I think he had his own vision for what that would turn into. And we always, loved Amato. And loved working with him, thought he was a smart guy. I was like, if you think it's a good idea, let's just do it, and we just kind of went with it. And Jackie, who's kind of a hidden all-star here at our company, we kind of took her and shifted more of her time and energy into FiGPiN from a product management standpoint. So we dedicated a lot of internal resources kind of when we didn't have the money, quite honestly, to do it.
In a true entrepreneurial spirit, I put my house a second on my house, as I had done before in an entrepreneurial world, so we could raise the cash. So because what we didn't know at the time was, hey, these licenses cost a lot of money. And it's like, as we started to take licenses, it was
so we didn't know a lot about, we knew what licensing was, right? But we hadn't ever taken licenses ourselves. We had some connections. It wasn't hard to get to retail, but we weren't really sophisticated at selling a consumer product to retail with much strategy. It was almost as much kind of, can we make a beautiful product and put it out in the world and survive long enough to kind of figure this thing out? That was really kind of what it was. And I think, it was amazing that we put the first Mass Effect product, I think, into Target stores, man, and it was a dud, right? So Mass Effect Andromeda came. I don't know if you guys remember that product. I'm sure you see the line because it's in the app, and it's part of the, you know what I mean? But really, I remember the first kind of sell-through report we got back from Target, and it was something like, oh my God, like 10 pieces or something. And Travis was like, was that one store? And I was like, no, that's chain wide. He's like, oh God, that's horrible. And so then we were like, okay, we had another license behind it with Dragon Ball. Actually, the Best Buy Dragon Ball crate. I think the Best Buy Dragon Ball crate was around similar timing, but that one was really well received in the YouTube videos on it and the unboxings of it. And that's kind of where Collect Awesome came from. When we go back to that tagline, I remember talking with Amato about that, but there was this video of this guy unboxing it, and he's like, okay, I got the socks, and I got the cup, and I got the pop vinyl, but I got this awesome, I mean, this must be like $100 or something, kind of like, FiGPiN, and he's holding it up, and everything, and we're just like, yeah, it's so amazing, to kind of get that reaction. Then we dropped a 9-piece Dragon Ball line into Target, and that became kind of like their I think like top 1 or 2 or 3 collectible products when that came out. So we kind of experienced the Mass Effect thing, and then we kind of took off with Dragon Ball a little bit. And so,
do you remember the year that the Dragon Ball set came out?
What's that?
Do you remember the year that the Dragon Ball box set came out?
The Dragon Ball, the one with the Goku, number 2
yeah.
Goku, that came out February 1st, 2017.
Okay.
So 3 years. That's great.
And so we started, so really FiGPiN, we're trying to give it a birthday. I would say FiGPiN's birthday is really March, probably like March, let's go back to my phone, March 16th, 2016, when maybe that first sample came in or something, it was around that time. So from March until, really Mike Piazza was our first one. That PO came in, I think in October, November, and I think we delivered that product in December to Loot Crate. And that product was for like an internal pitch that Loot Crate was giving to Major League Baseball to do the sports crates. And I think at the time, the story went that an investor that owned the Mets was investing in the Loot Crate, and they wanted to do a Mets. And we actually had it all mocked up with Noah Syndergaard. We had the pin made. At the last second, it switched to Mike Piazza. And so then Mike Piazza became the first FiGPiN, and we produced 300 units. And it's funny because those are so like, those must be like sitting in someone's closet. And, I have no idea where those 300 are because you don't really see them. Every once in a while, like one would pop up on eBay, maybe from like a sales rep that used to work here or something like, or however it kind of makes its way out in the world. I don't know.
To see
I know the last one that I saw, and it actually didn't have like the legit backer card to it, was it went on eBay for like $1,200.
Yeah. So Yeah, so there you go. I know my
Has
aunt.
anybody ever seen, or what was the character that you said was produced but swapped for Mike right at the very end? And I don't think I've ever seen a picture of that one.
You know, actually, if you go to my Instagram, FiGPiN.KiNGPiN, I posted about it. Let's see here.
Okay, so maybe I have seen that.
If you go down to like,
So Travis, why Dan's looking for that, and I think you answered the question with, obviously you saying you put your house up to.
Oh,
so that was.
I'm gonna check that out.
I don't know when that was. July 30th, 2019. So you can go there and see the pin and a really cool background Eric made for it. I thought it was super cool. So, anyways, it was supposed to be no Syndergaard, but Mike Piazza became FiGPiN 1.
So sorry to interrupt you, Dan. So I think you answered the question already, but Dan Amato come to you with this idea that I think he shared. You didn't know that they were even doing. My question was going to be, what did you think of the product? But obviously, you put your house up on to go ahead and back it up. So I assume you liked it, right?
I did. I did. I mean, the thing about Dan, and I've known him for a long, long time, he's a tremendous salesperson, but he's also super passionate about collectibles. And he was just so excited about it that I don't know if he talked me into it or he just convinced me, but it was like, okay, let's do it. And we did.
It kind of like death by 1,000 stabs, right? It was like a little bit of money here, a little bit of money here, a little bit of money here. It's like, you get that mentality like, well, I keep spending money against it. I keep going. I'll keep going. So,
working with the negatives can make for better pictures.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Dan and I never took any salary for multiple years. We just put everything into FiGPiN and into the staff because we grew pretty quick. I mean, we're still small, but as we brought on new production managers and project managers and salespeople, we'd rather, bring that on and put the money into it. And we were fortunate enough to have other revenue streams. Most of it was Dan's savings, but
right.
Which if you ask his wife Christy, she's like, "Oh, this is a good idea. These pins are great."
An entrepreneur's journey is not easy, especially on the family, at times.
Well, I mean, you guys obviously are knocking it out of the park, and we're excited to see where you guys are, where you're headed, for sure. So, keep up the great work.
Gives hope to us. We are chasing our dreams.
That's awesome. So where do you guys see the company going in the next 3 to 5 years?
That's a great question, Alex. I think we just kind of had a summit, Eric and Amato, Travis and I, and Arima, who's really kind of our CFO. We're gonna, a chance for us to get together, kind of talk about this a little bit. And we're going to do it again soon because I think we're really trying to structure some language around the mission and the vision. And it's a little bit, entertainment. It's a little bit collectible. It's a little bit connection, I keep scrolling around with different things. I think, part of the real DNA of this company that Travis was talking about at the beginning was quality. And so we kind of talk about best in class as far as like a consumer product. It takes a lot of I think experience and expertise to actually make like a best in class product. And I think we feel strongly that we made, kind of for the price point, a really best in class, collectible. But I think what we're discovering is it's more than a product. It's really kind of almost an experience now when you add the app to it and you add the kind of connection community to it. And so I think, one is kind of articulating that kind of like real mission and vision for the company, and then really kind of like, scaling the business, against that, scaling it internally, scaling it externally. I think at the end of the day, I feel like And I think we all feel this way, that we made this beautiful little thing that connects, people to the things they love. Can there be, a FiGPiN for, everything in the world of things people love? You know what I mean? And have it all be kind of connected. I think that's kind of the bigger vision, the bigger idea. And so, adding pieces and structure and processes and policies and more organization and more planning and more kind of everything to kind of get to that place.
Awesome.
I'm sorry to interrupt here, but there is some debate going on in the chat, Dan. People are asking if you're drinking coconut water. Some people are saying no, it's a mango Carl. So
that's an Elysian contact haze. That's where's my man Payne? Is he in the chat?
Sorry, just wanted to throw some fun in there.
I've kind of like a little segue. We can jump around if we need to, but let's kind of talk about some of the feedback we received from the community. And I guess based on what you just said about your little 5-year plan and how you want to do that, do you see your app becoming a primary hub for all of that information, for the experience, for the communication? Is that going to be your main avenue of information that will then maybe spread off to the other media platforms?
Man, that's a great question. I think there's a big opportunity with the app on a communication piece. I'm not technical enough to understand really what that would take. I know that, I would love to see us, and I know it's part of the plan, to use in-app notifications, a bit more. I think, everyone that's, in this community that's using the app, I think that'd be a great way to kind of like get an alert about some kind of like something that, FiGPiN's doing, right? And be able to kind of take advantage of that. I saw, I think Tufu put it out there that she'd love to see kind of one channel, maybe like a Twitter, where all the FiGPiN information kind of streamlines down to it. We haven't had that conversation yet internally. I think it's a great idea. And it's funny because when you work inside the company, you don't maybe necessarily understand when you're outside the company, how you guys crave the information to come in that kind of way. So the reason I do those Instagram posts and I do those giveaways is, it really kind of helps get a pulse on, what is everybody thinking? You know what I mean? I thought there was some really good insights that came out of that, and I thought that was one.
I think we all agree, and I definitely think the app would be a perfect place for that central hub to then push all the information. I mean, that's what we all want to go to, right? We're all in the app. We want to be in the app. Let all the info come from the app and then distribute to everything else. Again, I'm sure the strategy will play out as you guys figure it out as well. But is there anything that you believe FiGPiN isn't doing currently, or something that you'd want to do a little bit different that you don't think you are just yet?
For me, I think the one thing where we need to improve, and I saw a nod to this in some of the responses, was really getting our calendar, synced. You know what I mean? And I think like you can see it with the response about the Marvel drops. I think like syncing better, and part of that's bandwidth, part of that's planning, part of that is just strategy. But really kind of like owning a calendar that kind of looks forward and kind of maximizing that to kind of drive against those beats, like in a calendar. You know what I mean? So I think for me, where I sit, that's one thing I would love to see us do, and we're going to do it. It's just like it's getting from A to B to do it,
Travis, same question.
Yeah, I mean, one of the monsters we created within this product is we created a product that's very difficult to have the artist make the quality that we want in a timely manner. So it takes an artist a little bit more time than if I had 100 Mac artists here and they were just banging out art. I could do that all day long. And so we have that hindrance that we've created ourselves. We won't accept rushing what we do, even though we could probably put out a 95% quality piece and you wouldn't know it. but Eric would never let that out because he would know it. So we have to deal with that. And, for me, the frustration's been the movie comes out and then we come out with the product, 2 months later. And it's like, and I look at it from a business standpoint. I look at the license. When I sign a license, I've got a time clock, right? It just clicks. 2 years. So I had 2 years to get back my $250,000 that I just spent on that license. Okay. So for me, because I'm the guy who sits in the financial chair, I'm different than if you're making an app or you're selling something. To me, it's like, let's go. We got to make some stuff. And we have like 60 or 70 licenses. Each one has a little time bomb on it. And so sometimes Dan gets very excited and say, we got to sign this license, but
guilty.
Really, we can't touch it. We can't touch it for 6 months because we don't have the bandwidth. And so, it's kind of like sports. I think the NFL came to Dan and said, hey, sign us up. And it's like, we told the NFL, well, we can't do it right now because we don't have the bandwidth. So it's really not wanting to sacrifice the integrity of the quality, what we've created, the app and everything, and being able to balance that with the licenses that we signed. So
wild.
There's a lot behind the scenes that it takes to make one of these beautiful little pieces.
Oh man, I can only imagine. Whew.
No, it's funny, man. It really took us about 8 months of vetting factories to find a partner that would kind of meet the standards, of what we really wanted, in the product quality. And really, it's a partnership, right? It's a spirit of partnership, and it's communication and it's expectation, But I mean, that part of the process and what's happening on the China side with our business is extremely valuable in how these are brought out, how they're crafted with the workmanship and the quality and the attention to detail.
And it's multiple. There's 4 or 5 different factories involved with making the FiGPiN. You have the pin factory, but then you have the case factory, then you have the backer card factory. So there's a lot of, all those guys have to be at the same level of quality, delivering in a timely manner to get everything here.
Makes sense. Wow. Since you talked about, obviously the NFL and you guys have, just recently released, NBA, the amazing opportunity with Disney and going with the, pin trading side of things and getting that more solidified. What does it look like to have them actually advertise the product for you? And I mean, is that something that you are working behind the scenes trying to actually get the NBA to do something more with your pins, and obviously Disney the same thing, instead of it just being like, here's a, we'll give you some shelf space, but never say anything to any of our clientele?
I think like that's going to be on us to really drive that. I think that's going to be yet maybe a position here to add, for FiGPiN, kind of someone on the strategy level, marketing partnerships level, kind of leveraging licensors, leveraging maybe, the bigger kind of key retailers to do that. I would say we're working on that right now. When we do it, I think Lucasfilm has been the best partner for us to kind of team up with so far, in kind of, leveraging either like their Mando Mondays or I think like Boba Fett kind of had like, the same kind of thing, where we'd be included in their marketing and kind of their outreach, that kind of thing. So when we do it, it works really well for us. Again, it's about kind of going back to that calendar and planning it and kind of getting it to a better level there.
Wild, yeah. Sketch it down in the little contract saying, hey, we got to get a little promo in the corner saying Batman's released or Curry's released. Let's have a little spliff about it.
Like the NBA. Definitely. I think the NBA All-Star game next year is in Salt Lake City, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we've already begun trying to have some conversations about, doing something with the All-Star game next year.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
That's cool.
So we need to start, planning far enough out to where you can get all the contract business part done, and then we have time still to make it and get it delivered. So
makes sense. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure Battle will appreciate this question, especially since he's he's living abroad right now, but we do have some other collectors that live overseas. So what does it look like to get FiGPiN more international / global?
Yeah, that's definitely a priority for us. Right now we're in Australia. So we're going to continue exploring and seeing how we can even be more kind of present in Australia and New Zealand. We will be going into the UK. So I know that a lot of people in the UK have been requesting FiGPiNs, both at a store level. I think we're just finishing up paperwork with HMV to kind of like, get into their stores. We've contacted Forbidden Planet. We have different kinds of like bookstores and a new distributor in Europe. We're also going to turn on Shopify International, which means that we will be able to ship directly out of Irvine directly to consumers. So all that is stuff that we're working on or in the process of working on. What comes with that is, extending our licensing agreements into those areas. So right now we have Star Wars, greenlit for Europe. We have Marvel greenlit for Europe. We're working on Disney at this point. And we're working on some anime at this point. So it goes back to financials, like, even to sell in Europe, it's a lot of times a new contract, a new minimum guarantee. So it's kind of a chicken and egg thing. For us, we kind of have to take some step out so we can get the product there. Part of it's negotiation, so it's all a process, but we're definitely committed to putting FiGPiNs, in other parts of the planet.
I think also as we roll out our Disney products to Disney France, Disney Japan, Disney Shanghai, we're already shipped product to Disney stores in Europe and in Japan. So as we bring those out, it'll help when we then start with distributors in those parts of the world, because people have already seen some of the product, hopefully.
Yeah, you're building your brand through obviously a huge brand already. That's awesome. Great business strategy for sure.
I don't know if you're in line to share this with us, but when you do ship those pins to, let's say, Japan, have you done Japan character exclusives? Are they the same ones we're getting here in the States? Do I have to make a trip out there?
No exclusives yet. So they call it leveraging, right? So we'll make a wave, and then for the US, and then it'll go leveraged into the different kind of channels internationally. But as our business grows with them, anything's possible. You know what I mean?
Wow, very cool.
So I did see a question that through the chat that I thought was a little bit interesting, and I'm not sure. I mean, we obviously didn't share this with you, so I'm not sure if you've seen it, Dan. But first, thank you for playing a huge part in creating a hobby that we all love and enjoy and appreciate. I do have a question in regard to the AP artist proof FiGPiNs. Why not randomly insert the AP FiGPiNs into retailer stock or your own, FiGPiN stock? That way collectors have the same opportunity to find an AP treasure. A large portion of FiGPiN collectors do not believe the distribution of artist proof pins is being done fairly, nor is it being done with transparency. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I saw that comment. That is actually something we've talked about, right? Like kind of the way that the gold chase model is working right now on NBA and the new My Hero line. Do we turn it on for APs, that we sprinkle some in there kind of thing? And so we haven't kind of reached a final decision or whatnot, but I know the mechanism now kind of exists for us to be able to turn that on. So,
very cool.
So anyways, definitely hear you. Definitely heard it on my post too. So
awesome.
Something we're talking about.
Very cool. Well, Battle, I know that you're all about cons. So did you want to go ahead and ask the question about the cons?
Absolutely. So last year, the year before was one of my first times. I've still never been to a major con. That is in the works though. But when I'm not able to go to those cons, thankfully, I've been able to reach out to the community and somebody's been able to help me get most of the pins I was looking for. So thank you to the community who does that. But are we ever going to have the ability to maybe do a virtual con while you guys are at cons for the people who can't make it? Have any thoughts been discussed about kind of like when Bruce Lee at the baseball stadium, the first X amount out there, they got the first 1 through 500 or 1,000. And then the other pins were sold later on online, maybe a later sequence. Or I think one of the comments was, can you sell the con pins and then maybe have a bonus flip card of like a geotag? Like, okay, I actually picked it up at the con, bonus points. Then we can buy, the people who are unable to attend could maybe buy them at a later time, but at least still have that pin in their collection without paying.
I think the general answer is we're definitely going to be doing some cool stuff with the app. And it's funny, man, when I go back like a couple years, this is old thinking, but I thought, let's go to San Diego and have 2 booths. One's like a VIP booth for the people with like, a certain level of points in the app. They get a VIP experience over here and then everyone else gets this experience over here kind of thing. But, then it's kind of, the talk about the whole geotagging. I know that's part of part of the app kind of discussions and the things that could unlock for an experience. So I would say that, a lot of those comments that I saw about, being recognized, being rewarded, those are all part of really kind of live discussions that we have about how to really kind of maximize this opportunity, with the app. So I would say that those are not unheard. Those are heard and being discussed. And some of that stuff's already built into the pipeline. So the goal is to have just this, amazing experience, for all you guys, you know what I mean? And so some of these ideas, are really awesome. Some of these ideas are already being worked on.
Great.
So have you guys thought of like a creation of like a rewards program for hitting like certain milestones in the app, or some sort of type of like legacy loyalty program like dedicated for collectors?
Yep, that's kind of what I was just kind of like alluding to. I think, part of the answer to Battle's question was, more story cards that kind of brings out that experience. And I think part of what you're talking about, Alex, is also something I can tell you that has been talked about here for probably at least a couple years. So I would say that's definitely coming in a FiGPiN way on how it shapes out. So stay tuned. That's definitely in the pipeline.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. Very cool. And I know there's been some talk also about, so for example, in the new My Hero line, right? We have the regular edition, and then we have the glitter variation, and now the chase variation. And we all understand, it's easier to take the same mold and kind of just alter it. But is there a chance for like chases or, the glitters to have different variation to, the pin themselves?
Definitely. And look, it's funny, Eric and I were talking about this the last couple of days. No, we all get it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes too much is too much of kind of the same. So it's kind of striking that fine balance of a common and then a meaningful variant, right? And I think sometimes we get it right, and sometimes we don't. It might be, for trying to hit a partner exclusive, or we're trying to reach to do something. But I think that the community is spoken, and so we'll be conscious of that as we go and make sure that, when it's a variant, it'll be as meaningful as possible. Sometimes it's license or restriction. In the case of My Hero, they're pretty limited on how we can variant kind of their characters. Other people are more flexible in how we can do things, but we'll try to do the best within kind of like that parameters and not try to like oversaturate, that experience.
I mean, it's My Hero, so of course I'm going to have all 9 of them.
I'm
just saying.
Two of them each. Well,
right.
I don't know if you guys have seen, but that GameStop glitter variant has been found in GameStop today. I know OK Mello found it. I saw Midnight Geek posted that he had one in hand. So I know there's going to be a lot of people on the hunt for those. So that's really neat to see.
Which it looks like, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure both of them are in definitely in the Midwest,
Texas.
but I'm pretty sure it's Texas, right? So at least in that area, that they have been found in the store. So if you do live in the Texas area, start looking at your GameStops. My plan tomorrow is to go ahead and hopefully get to GameStop before it closes, before I have to leave work. So, or after I leave work.
I can probably say this with a huge community following is it has some glow in the dark. It hit it out of the park. It shines so bright, and we definitely need more of those.
Everybody loves the glow in the dark, man. So I'm hearing you on that.
It's definitely cool. So, and I know this might be a touchy subject, but I have to ask the question.
Oh no!
So D23 box set. The decision to not have actual serial numbers on the on the pins that would be able to go into the app, was that a FiGPiN decision, or was that a Disney decision saying, you can't do that?
Of course we would have done it if we could have. But at the time, that was 2018. I think that discussion was happening, and we had, part of like the big idea was to get FiGPiN into Disney, right? So I think my first trip down to Orlando to visit the pin trading team was, God, I want to say it was 2017 fall, and then again in 2018. And so, you're looking for your first kind of opportunity. So we got our opportunity. And so one of the gals from that office who ran events said, hey, we have an opportunity with D23 to do a set, and we want to work with you guys to do it. And at the time she said, we can't co-brand it with you. It would need to be a Disney product. And I think at that time, where, we were kind of a small fledgling company trying to get on the map, we're like, okay, we'll do it. And it's a chance to kind of show off, I think, to, Disney that we can do something great, and to the fans that we can do something great. And we even asked if we can't have FiGPiN, the brand, can we actually include the serial numbers on the actual pins? And, Disney's very particular about like the backs of their pins. I don't know if you guys have seen the theme park pins, but I mean, that whole cycle of getting those things right probably burned like 3 weeks of like development time.
Wow.
On just like, like the millimeters of like the Disney head pattern and getting it. So we got denied the opportunity to put serial numbers on that set. And I think Amato turns over in his bed at night. Why are they? How do we get that? Because there's been, it's funny, he just sent me a support ticket the other day. They're like, where are the serial numbers, for these FiGPiNs? And so it's kind of the one that haunts us, a little bit.
But also, that product was made for the people that get to go in early. It's a real exclusive, and they invite certain brands. And the number one and number two products that sold out immediately was Funko and FiGPiN. So,
wow.
I mean, that was pretty cool that we sold out immediately.
That is awesome.
And being at D23, we had some of the longest lines that we'd ever had.
Wow.
And so we got a lot out of it. At a time when I think that really helped us get, the relationship we have today with this.
It did. We had it was kind of like a tryout, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, how is this team to work with? Could they execute within our system? Are they gonna hit the timeline? How are they to work? How do they communicate? How did the quality of the product turn out? And so I think we passed that mini test. And it's really unfortunate that it wasn't branded FiGPiN and have the serial numbers. But as we got bigger, and we kind of came along. When it came time to really have the real conversation about going in as a partner, now we stand as FiGPiN, with our brand, with the serial numbers, in the parks. So, I think it all worked out for the great. It's just a bummer that one set doesn't have it,
So, and I've thrown this out there before in some of the groups and I believe that you guys are trying to figure out possibly having some, micro purchases on the app. Is it possible to go ahead and have, Mike Piazza and the D23s, and if there is, prototype pins that are out there, to go ahead and have a micro purchase where, you go through a verification process to actually make sure you have a pin and you can create a serial number through that. So I know that there's obviously, I'm sure you have to, obviously, in the case that you just shared with Disney, not wanting their product to go ahead and, with all the requirements that they have, I didn't know if that's something that can be, thought of or possibly done to try to get some of those pins that never had a chance previously, but maybe you have the opportunity now to, to do that.
Get that digital.
I would say in the list of everything we're working on, it's probably like down towards the bottom.
Oh, I'm sure.
Know what I mean? Yeah. But I feel like it's funny because me and Amado were just talking about like a laser engraving machine. So let's say like in a couple of years, we kind of have a setup domestically to laser engrave, FiGPiNs, and we can verify a process to do that. It's a possibility for the future.
Very cool. Very cool.
If it makes sense.
Somewhere through some of the threads, I recently saw that FiGPiN is trying to go to a lot of cons this year and next year. One of them I could have sworn was D23. Are you guys going to have a D23 set? And is this one going to have some serial numbers on it?
You know what's funny about that? Disney actually came to us and wanted to do a box set for this D23, and the timeline was just too tight.
Oh,
and we tried to see if we could do one pin, and it just, it was just too compressed for us. We are definitely going to D23. We'll have an amazing lineup there, but the chance to just kind of add on a full box set and what it would take to get it done in time, we just ran out of time to do it, honestly.
That's still super cool, though. I'm excited for them.
Very cool. Dan, I know that you've been throwing some amazing pins into the Dan and Travis, did you have anything that you wanted to? I know that you obviously posted that question, for one of the giveaways that you had over the weekend. Is there anything that you wanted to address that maybe we didn't go ahead and chat with us? Travis, is the same question for you.
For me, no. I think John did a nice job of kind of setting an agenda, and we talked about kind of like looking into some of the comments from the IG post. So I think for me, it's been great to get on here and kind of be with Travis here and of course everybody else, and just kind of have this moment.
I mean, I don't go on a lot, so this is very fun for me. I really appreciate the community. I'm just amazed by it, and we want to grow it more. One of the things that I really want to be able to do down the line, and Dan and I talked about this at the very beginning, and he's like, "What are you going to say?" And it's like, I'd love to bring a charity aspect to what we do, from the standpoint of, we had talked about making an iconic FiGPiN of Muhammad Ali or Jackie Robinson or somebody, and talking to their representatives to find out what charity they would want the money to go to, and we would put it up on a Friday and it would only go to a Monday, and then we'd never make it again, and then that whatever we sold, after we, that money would then go to that charity. And I would love to do that, because I think that as we grow, we're getting a great, following of people that are passionate about it. And I think they would buy the product just not only because it'd be a unique product, but you're supporting a really good cause. So I would like to be able to do something like that as we get bigger and are little more bandwidth.
That's super cool.
That'd be awesome.
FiGPiN gives back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, so, and Travis, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. We might have created the possible, at least, hashtag for you guys with FiGPiN, hashtag FiGPiN gives back. So one of the collectors in the community, his name is Taylor. He's going through a tough time right now, and I know Dan went ahead and did something over the weekend to help raise money for the GoFundMe that is for this collector. Amato reached out to us. We're also joining forces with FiGPiN fans, as well as Austin DG, to do we're giving away 12 APs to raise money for Taylor. Part of that, so that we're able to go ahead and capture who donated to give these 12 APs away. We wanted to come up with a hashtag, and Alex Battle and I were talking about throwing out some other hashtags, and we all agreed that FiGPiN gives back was, I think, the most appropriate to capture for us, so that we can easily see, hey, this is these people are donating because of FiGPiN, and just showing that the community, as well as what you guys do, is more than just about selling pins, and it's about trying to go ahead and help support the community when possible. So yeah, I mean, it's cool.
Great.
We're able to. Yeah, I love the idea. I mean, that's an amazing idea, and anything that we can do to help to support you get that vision, we would love to go ahead and be part of it as well.
And I'd love to take the opportunity right there to say thank you, everybody in the community who has donated. I know it's something up to like almost 11,000 so far. It is so generous. Thank you, everybody who donated and has funded. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
For sure.
So, we're talking about all this stuff, and you're doing some amazing things over the weekend. Putting a lot of AP pins into your KiNGPiN AP account. So yeah, I mean, any plans for what that's going to look like, moving forward, and what any other cool ideas that you have? I mean, obviously, I thought it was cool that you used it to try to get feedback to help better the company. So any other thoughts that you're gonna what you're gonna
do? I think for me, I have a ton of really cool pins, and as for me as a collector, I have certain lines that I kind of want on my wall. I'm not a completionist, right? So I the Disney parks pins.
You're not?
No, yeah. So I need to put up some pins, and some really cool pins that people are going to covet. I shouldn't hang on to them. I should spread this love, so you guys will have a chance to get some of these kind of rare pins, really, some of the Assassin's Creed stuff, some of the old Tekken stuff, some of the ones that are really sought after. And so it's fun for me to give that kind of stuff away. You know what I mean? For me, so on my wall, I'm going to have the sports guys. I'm going to have the Simpsons. I'm going to have maybe some Star Wars, Disney parks, that kind of thing.
And
don't get me wrong, I love them all, but I just, it's a way for me to kind of keep it exciting and keep it fun for everyone,
For sure. I have seen your wall where you hang your sports pins and your Simpsons pins, and I have to say it's a little cringing on me that you take them out of the sleeve and you don't display them with the sleeve on it.
Oh, so that's funny, man, because for me, I really love this look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of the enamel pin and the backer card behind it, in that stance. So for me, I want to reduce the plastic, which, don't get me wrong, I think the plastic capsule is super cool, and this was supposed to be the product. We had to add the sleeve to put legal information on it. So I was like, okay. So then there's another layer of plastic, and there's yeah, but now people collect that, and that gets scratched. So it was the potato chip. And now it's this perfect square wrap. So it's how many layers to get to the Tootsie Pop? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. But at the heart of it for me, if I go back to where I was in 2013, man, I really loved kind of the brilliance of the enamel and the metal and kind of that. And I just think this is such a sharp, kind of look. And so this is a look at the Boba Fett.
Yeah.
for
So I have to ask, since you just said, what did you just leak the ultra of the owl from the Tootsie Pop commercials? That's the
ultra. Dang it.
Speaking of leaks, so we can't bring you guys on the show without getting some sort of nugget here.
All right.
Got anything for us?
I mean, and you guys know that we have this line coming out, but I think like this line, I don't know if you guys know who this is.
Ooh.
Well, but, obviously it's a Major League Baseball player. I can't.
It's like Ronald Acuna Jr. for the Braves, but like I think this line is a really dynamic, a really well done, really cool line.
Is that an action pose of him finishing his swing?
It's kind of like him hitting and then taking off to first base.
Dang, that is awesome.
Good thing. So,
and that's one of the pins that's going to be released.
Yep, that's one of them.
Heck
and then the other one.
That's the first time that this is being shown, because I have not seen this anywhere before.
That's awesome.
Yep. So I'd say the other one, a license that we signed that's coming on the anime side is Jujutsu Kaisen. So
no way.
We officially signed that license, and so we'll have that. It's rolling into the kind of the planning, so that'll be coming as well. So there's a couple teasers, a couple nuggets for you guys. There's a lot, and I think coming. Probably starting like in early June, it's just going to be just a freaking drum roll of like some amazing stuff,
Cool.
So with some of the relief for the shipping docks, obviously in California, is that helping get you guys faster production, faster shipping? Because I know that. My GameStops, my Targets, my Walmarts, there's been an explosion of goods on the shelf, because I know that some of the shipping containers were able to go ahead and be, unloaded and shipped out. So, what does that look like for you? And is there any, I'm assuming it's helping you, but, have you seen an impact on that for you guys yet? Or are you hoping that it's a future impact moving forward?
I mean, we've seen our product starting to come in better. I mean, there have been some issues in Shenzhen and the port of Yantian recently where they had a setback, but we're getting a lot of product in. So,
well, that's good.
I think the struggle for like the big retailers is
less air freight.
The struggle for the big guys is, so much of that product that they order for like their Q4 didn't really hit in time for them to get it on shelves for holiday. Not every retailer, but a lot of them. So then they got stuffed up for kind of Q1, which kind of threw their cadence off a little bit. So, getting it out of distributors' warehouses and then into distribution retail warehouses and then to stores, the retailers themselves are fighting, labor shortages, they're fighting trucking shortages. So, just a big kind of like mess of getting product, through those systems kind of in a timely manner. So I think some of that's starting to kind of sort itself out, now. So, probably through the rest of the year, we'll see a better cadence, on how we go.
That's awesome.
Very cool. So, and I'm sorry to have to go back to, some feedback, but I've seen this person, Midnight Geek. Do you guys know Eric?
Of course. Eric, what's going on, man?
He's asked it at least 3 times that I've seen come through there. So he's asking, is there any talk, any opportunities to have more boosts be given, so collectors can go ahead and get either give more boosts to themselves, or obviously help the community out further? And I think that might be maybe a question for Amato more than you guys, but
that's it. Hey, kick that question to Amato next week. I know he's coming on with Steven.
Just leak
but
something.
I definitely say that everyone.
You just leaked another thing. No one knew about that for next week.
I was gonna say that was a secret.
Oh, my bad.
So there you go. 3 leaks you guys got this from Dan this week.
So Travis, one last random question for you. We heard what Dan has on his closed shelf and on his desk. do you happen to have a favorite FiGPiN, and do you have sitting anywhere close on your desk?
I have a Rod Carew that he did specifically for me for there's a charity I'm involved with where we on the CMD side we make lights for children in Africa. They're solar lamps, and it's the only light that they have to do their homework with at night. It's the only electricity they have, and we've made over 50,000 lights over the last 5 or 6 years. And they do a big dinner every year, and they have a charity auction. And Glenn, who manages our warehouse, plays golf with Rod Carew. He's known him for a long time. And we asked Rod to, if you'd pose so that we could auction it off. So I'll show it to you. It's pretty cool.
Oh, man, that thing's
I thought he was tipping over, man. I was like, oh no, there was Yoda.
Man down.
That is so awesome.
I should not.
Oh, this looks like it's
man,
cool.
what's happening? Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Dang, that is awesome.
Wow.
And what did we make of these? About 10?
10. I don't even know if that many, honestly.
So
honestly, man, that's the only one I know of. Travis is like
he signed it for me. So that's a rarity. And then I have this pin.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is this a good one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that pin.
Do you think this would bring a lot of auction to help that person that everybody's working to help and raise money for?
Travis looking to give that one away, it sounds like.
Oh man.
I mean, it definitely would be very helpful for sure.
So John, if I send this to you, will you do
We'll give away 2.
You're gonna give us 2.
Another more? All right.
Yeah.
2 more.
Yeah. So guys, I mean, Dan and Travis just did something. They did not share this with us before the show. So we're going to be giving away 14 pins in total. 2 of them being the Bait Vegeta black and white version. So guys, wow, man.
Awesome.
And this is what I keep telling people more and more, especially new collectors. I was like, guys, like, yeah, there's, an amazing collectible that we all have here, but this is like, you go ahead and feel so much more part of a community than any other collectible that's out there. So, I mean, and generosity like that just goes ahead and proves that, it's truly an amazing team and community to be part of. So thank you.
Thank you for being a representative of us. It's fantastic.
No, I was going to say, thanks you guys. I mean, this show is really, really awesome. I spent a lot of my weekend getting up early to watch all the episodes. So I was telling John before we got on, like, I got to know Bendy Stick's story. I got to know Matt Montiel's story. I got to know Vanessa's story, Cecilia's story, Pop Queen's story. Of course, Eric watched his segment, Statue Fanatic in that segment.
Them wearing all their masks and not saying anything.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like, guys, what's going on here? We thought that they couldn't hear us.
And it's really fun to kind of hear how people had heard about FiGPiN for the first time, and then kind of fun to hear their story about how they're enjoying the community and like the things they're doing within the community. So I think the show that you guys have put together is really special, and I want to for us to help you guys grow this, right? Grow with us. Let's grow this show and keep making the content, really, really great for everyone. So really, guys, thank you. This is special.
We appreciate that for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started this, I don't think that, I mean, Battle and I we've started this together, and Alex, we had her as a guest, and Battle and I after that show was like, hey, I don't know, Alex really jived well with us. Do you want to ask her to be a guest host? And then she became a guest host, and then we thought that she was amazing. So we're like, hey, be a host with us. And I don't think the 3 of us thought it was going to go ahead and get to the point that it's at now. And that's all big, part of, big part of the community. And then obviously the other half of that is, the amazing work that you guys do. And letting us talk about nerdy stuff every Tuesday. So
yes.
Yeah, very cool.
I have to keep these guys in line, so.
You have to. We'll go down all the wrong holes all the time. Thank you for keeping us in line.
So one thing we didn't talk a lot about today was our amazing sponsor, Pins on Fire, and we can't go ahead and end the show without going ahead and, one, obviously making sure that they get the recognition for being amazing as they are, but also, Alex, did they give us anything for this week to go ahead and give away?
Yes, I have a really awesome pin to give away from Pins on Fire. How do we want to do it? Any suggestions?
Well, I think Dan's looking at the comments, right?
Oh, no, I'm not. Let me go to the comments. And by the way, Jason and Sandy have been, huge supporters of ours from the beginning. So, support Pins on Fire. Buy something from their store. I mean, they've been great partners for us.
They've been a huge help to us as well. Thank you, Pins on Fire.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing work. They're just fun. They're really cool people. I actually really had a lot of fun getting to know them on the last couple of shows.
That was fun. That was definitely a fun show. So Dan, would you want to go ahead and maybe there's someone that you have never seen before, a name that's maybe not familiar, and pick a winner? Breckenridge, I think he's been calling Tufu mom
Go Cougs!
Too much, so Breckenridge shouldn't
man,
because he's calling Tufu mom.
Breck's an influencer.
So Alex, do you want to go ahead and share, or do we want to wait till Dan picks a winner? Which one do you want to do first? You want to see what they're going to win, or should we wait till Dan picks
you want
a
me to pick a winner? That's a lot of pressure, guys. Let me see.
Pick a name you don't know.
Wow, the chat's going kind of quick.
I usually just do like a random scroll and stop, and that's the name I pick.
Oh, is that what you do? Okay, so
you can pick whoever you want, though.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Watch, he's gonna stop right on Breckenridge now.
Nicholas Arvalo.
Oh,
awesome.
All right.
Well, Nicholas, you are the winner for this week, and we have an amazing giveaway thanks to our sponsors, Pins on Fire. The Pins on Fire. What do we got, Alex?
An AP Mando logo.
Oh, what? That is awesome.
Well, Nicholas, consider me jelly because that is absolutely an amazing logo pin. Very cool, man. Well, congratulations. Nicholas, if you can go ahead and reach out to us on either Instagram or our Facebook page, we will go ahead and make sure we get that pin to you. So congratulations, guys. Yeah. Battle, do you have any? Well, I'll go to you, Alex. Do you have anything for
the dog needed to get outside.
Yeah. So guys, just to make sure we know, we are going to go ahead and include the 2 Bait Vegetas into the giveaway. So between the combined efforts of FiGPiN fans, Austin DG, as well as What the FiGPiN, we're going to be giving away a total of 14 pins. Keep going ahead and making sure if you're doing donations, obviously we just added 2 new prizes to the pool of prizes here. So we definitely would like to go ahead and see that FiGPiN gives back hashtag on the GoFundMe. We will go ahead and post another picture today with those pins there. So please go ahead and make sure that.
Oh, the whole Assassin's Creed. That's awesome.
Pot, man. I'll add an Ezio too to go with it.
Oh.
All right. So we're going to 15 pins that we're going to be giving away, which are absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
So make sure that you're going to the GoFundMe for Taylor and putting that FiGPiN gives back hashtag in there. Check out FiGPiN fans Discord and make sure that we're supporting the pins that we're all giving away together to help support Taylor. It is such an amazing community, and we appreciate the money that we've all raised so far together. So thank you guys so much. Alex, do you have anything to close the show off tonight?
No, but John, do you want to just go over real quick again how they can win and whether or not what time they have to donate to?
Very good point. Yeah. So guys, the giveaway is closing tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, Pacific time, or 6 p.m. Eastern time. So you have to go ahead and go to the GoFundMe page. You can donate any dollar amount that you want, but for every $10 goes ahead and gets you a chance, your name entered into a wheel spin, and all of the names will go ahead and be put onto the wheel. We will spin 15 times now, and we will have 15 winners. If you do win, we are going ahead and taking all of your instances off because we really want to try to get as many pins to as many different collectors as possible. And we will have a special show tomorrow doing the wheel spins. We're trying to go ahead and coordinate times for that, but it definitely will be later in the evening, if not the same time as it is today. So again, guys, GoFundMe page. You can find that on our Instagram as well as in FiGPiN Fans Discord. Please make sure you're going ahead and doing that. If you can support, please go ahead and give anything that you can. But again, every $10 gets you a chance to get onto the wheel. We have 15 pins to give away, and the giveaway closes tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awesome. Thank you, Alex, for the reminder.
Yeah, of course.
Battle, what about you, my friend? Oh, sorry, Alex. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Hold on, Beth.
No, it's okay. I was just wanting to thank Dan and Travis for coming on. That was amazing to be able to speak with you and learn so much about FiGPiN and your relationship. It's been amazing. We love you guys. We love the product that you guys have made, and it's really brought this community together. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think for more segments, I think there's so many amazing people that work here at FiGPiN. We've talked about a few, but there's people here like Sam and Letitia and Jay and Derek. I know Derek pops in here on the show because I saw it when I was watching your YouTubes.
Yep.
Nice. There's people in the California office. Obviously, we talked about Glenn, but Catalina's a Hong Kong people. I think like for content, I think there's other kind of like real star players kind of behind the scenes. Kylie, I know, Legacy Fox, she's newer to the team. Jason would be, is newer to the team, be great. Kyle, Charles. So I think there's a lot of like, really good people to kind of talk and kind of get their version and journey and stuff as you go, because it's really a big team effort, making this kind of all happen.
Absolutely.
Our mailman who's had to roll out huge product every day. I mean, he would love to talk to you guys.
That's awesome.
Hey, every name you mentioned, let's sign them up. We want to know about it. That's so cool.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not just good to get to know you guys. I mean, it's definitely, like you said, it's a huge team, and we want to make sure that we're sharing, their story and how they, came to be as part of the FiGPiN team, but also giving them, the credit that they deserve. So.
For sure.
A trip to Hong Kong, bring the video cameras, walk through a pin,
we're ready. Sign me up.
Sign us up.
Very cool. Battle, what about you this evening, my friend?
Thank you, everybody who's on the show. I always say thank you to the community and the watchers. Just kind of switch it up. I've said it, I think maybe one or two other times. With all of the craziness in the world right now, love each other. Enjoy life. Keep moving forward.
Yep. And Travis, again, it's been a pleasure. Do you have anything to go ahead and close the show off with us tonight?
It's just been really great for me. I mean, when Dan said, do you want to do this? I'm like, oh no. I just flew in last night from Austin. My daughter moved to Austin, and I was there for the weekend moving her in. And so I got back home late yesterday, and I forgot about this. So this morning I was thinking, go to work, come home, relax. And then he's like, hey, we're going on this show, remember? And I'm like, oh, all right. But it has been really, really fun. I hope I haven't bored you guys. And
absolutely not.
And I would actually love to come back and do it again sometime.
All right.
Awesome.
We would love that. Dan, what about you?
Oh, yeah, I'm here for you guys, man. So I'll be back for sure,
Awesome.
Thank you
for everything y'all do.
So, guys, and from me, I'm sorry, Alex, go ahead.
I was just going to say next week we got Stephen Me, right? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yep. We have Stephen. And
then Dan already leaked our special guest of Amato coming on the show. So make sure you tune in for next week.
Yeah, so make sure we tune in for next week.
Intuitive as to why.
Not positive. It's to go ahead and talk about all the stuff that we're talking about today. So but for me, guys, again, Travis and Dan, it's been a pleasure. Dan, I know that we've talked a little bit more. Travis, has been totally awesome to get to know you. So thank you so much for taking the opportunity to join us. And I apologize that we're taking so much of your time, especially traveling all weekend long. So thank you for being so gracious with your time to us.
So much fun. Yeah. Love meeting all of you. Hopefully we do another warehouse event here in Irvine. You can all come out and
we would love that for sure. As long as I get to come to the office and see the other characters on the other statues, that's I'm down for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. So Dan, I know that you've been with us one time before. I think if you remember how we end the show, but Travis, we started this off on Facebook, and it's actually on the coin that you guys were giving away at FWAP dead center. It says Boost Awesome. So we go ahead and I usually count down and we all share, to our roots from where the show started with Boost Awesome. Are you okay with doing that with us? All right, guys, again, it is What the FiGPiN. Thank you so much. I apologize before we finish. Taylor's going through, his thing, and we appreciate everyone supporting us. But we just wanted to also take a minute to, give our thoughts and prayers to Calvin. You obviously been on the show. You're a mentor to me, so I appreciate everything, all the conversations that we've had. But we just wanted to go ahead and, tip our hats to you and send the positivity your way as well, my friend.
Yeah, and at Nerds Collect too.
Yeah, Nerds that Collect, man. So thank you guys so much. But it's, again, an amazing show. Thank you so much. We will catch you next week. Same bat place, same bat time. And on 3, 2, 1, Boost Awesome.
Awesome.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.